Hello and welcome back to Elite Finish. I want to give you guys an overview of everything we just finished up on Ben Sullins' Rivian R1T. Let's take a look. So if you don't know who Ben Sullins is, Ben Sullins runs a YouTube channel. He's a EV and vehicle enthusiast. He also runs EV Decide, which is a way you can compare different electric vehicles.
This is the fastest truck ever made. Ever.
This is a vehicle that he's owned for a little bit now. So starting off, we did a full assessment of the vehicle. We cleaned everything up. We give it a really nice bath, full decontamination process, as well as did a full clay bar service on the car. Removed any of those little pieces of metal or any pieces of industrial fallout that have kind of been stuck in the pores of the paint, and even on the plastics as well, because that's very absorbent and very porous. And then from there, we gave it an assessment. There was some sanding marks from the factory, some little dull spots where there might have been a piece of dust inside the paint, inside the clear coat. And those were, sanded down in like a little circle, and then it was just a dull spot there. So we actually went through, polished that a little bit more, got that nice and shiny. We went through, actually knocked down some nib marks and some debris that they missed in the paint as well with our own sanding process to make that smoothen out and nice and shiny. And then we also went through and did some touch up on this vehicle. Now, at the time when the car came in, this was actually days before Rivian announced and revealed that they're doing their own touch up now on their website. We'll link that down below. You can grab that on Rivian's gear website. I think it's $40 a pop for one of their touch-up pens, and they offer every single color now. This was before that happened, so we actually had to go over to Rivian, borrow their only touch-up that they had in a little bottle, touch that up on the vehicle, and then brought it back to them because that's all they had for their entire service department. So after we did touch-up and assessment and factory defect removal on the vehicle, we did a paint protection film install. So we installed paint protection film on the lower bumper as well as the upper bumper, so that black lower part and then his Rivian blue upper part. The lights as well, the entire lights and the light bar. We applied paint protection film on the entire hood, and so we removed the little Rivian logo. That's just double-sided tape and some guide pins. Took that off, applied the film on, and then put the emblem back on. That way you don't have a line around that emblem for dirt to build up or something to just be unsightly that you see an edge there. We also applied it over the charging port, the fenders of the vehicle. Ben's using this as a truck on a pretty regular basis. This is not just a passenger vehicle that happens to have a bed. So we did paint protection film on the top strip of that tailgate there. That way, if you are loading something in from behind the truck, you've got some protection there, kind of like a luggage strip if it was on like a sedan where your trunk opens up. Last thing we did on the R1T in terms of paint protection film was actually replacing the PPF on the gear tunnel. All these R1Ts come from the factory with a piece of PPF on the entire gear tunnel. However, there tends to be quite a few bubbles as well as already some lifting, even brand new from the factory, or it's cut short in a couple places as well. So we pull that off. We replace it with S-Tech Dyno Shield, which is a glossier film. We also wrap the edges, so you're gonna have some extra protection there, especially when it's down. If you have something that you wanna lean against it, you've got some protection there and some peace of mind. So after the paint protection film install is complete, we can move on to the rest of our paint correction on all the panels that didn't receive paint protection film. So we do our final paint correction on those panels, and then we go through and ceramic coat the entire vehicle all at once. The paint protection film receives a different ceramic coating than the remaining paint that's exposed, and that way you've got even coverage throughout in terms of UV protection, hydrophobic, stain resistance. The big thing is that sun protection. Paint protection film by design does not have sun protection in it. That way, if you just do the front end of the car like we did on this Rivian, you're not gonna have a tan line down the road of owning this vehicle. Your paint's not gonna fade differently. And then after that, we went through and we did window tint on this vehicle. Not only is a visual change to the vehicle and just some added privacy, it's a huge difference in general comfort. So on the windshield, we did a 70% film, which is very much, it's really close to being a clear film because your glass is not 100% clear. It does have a little bit of, reflection to it. It's around 85% or so. So it darkens it a little bit, but it's really just a glare reduction. Plenty of visibility at nighttime still, but huge amount of heat rejection. S-Tech's NEX film, NEX, that's their full infrared graphene film. Huge difference, and even on a clear shade, you're gonna have a bunch of heat rejection. And on the front two side windows, we did that same film, but at 20% to match the factory privacy glass that's already in the back of the vehicle. That way you're gonna have even nice privacy throughout. It's gonna look visually appealing and also give you a little extra privacy. So if you wanna match those front twos to the back, you do a 20% on the front two, looks really nice and even. Another fun project wrapped up. Ben just picked up his car. I cannot wait for you guys to see this thing in the sun. I'm sure you'll see it around San Diego if you're local. The thing looks stunning. After a full paint correction, polishing, ceramic coating, and doing paint protection film, all that work that goes into it really brings a lot of shine, depth, and clarity out of the paint. Now that it's all done, he's super happy. I'm certainly super happy. I love R1Ts, I love the R1S. I'm still waiting on my Rivian to show up. But this is something that I know he's gonna have a lot of peace of mind driving this thing around, using it as it should be. And then we might see him in a little bit for some more stuff coming up.